Have you ever asked yourself a question, is ready to race enough? The guy who owns this motorcycle, Mr. Jiří Hejník, definitely thought about it. What you are looking at is 1290 Superduke R rebuilt in Super Enduro R, which means it has 180 horsepower and it goes off-road. It all started when Jiří was racing his KTM 950 bikes at places like Erzberg Rodeo or Pikes Peak.
Speaking of Erzberg Rodeo, this isn't just another off-road race. It's widely considered one of the toughest enduro events in the world. The race takes place in a massive iron ore quarry in Austria, where riders face brutal climbs, giant rocks, and terrain that looks almost impossible to ride. Every year, thousands of riders try their luck, but only a handful actually reach the finish. And then there's Pikes Peak, one of the oldest motorsport races in the world, first held in 1916, climbing nearly 1.5 kilometers up a mountain in Colorado. For decades, motorcycles battled their way to the summit on a mix of gravel and asphalt, chasing speed above the clouds. Two legendary races, two completely different challenges.
The big turning point came when the Pikes Peak organizer upped the engine size limit from 1000cc to 1300s. That's when the idea hit. Turn the 1290 Superduke into more motored style bike and race it in the US. But just before that happened, motorcycles got banned from Pikes Peak, so there was only one race left. Yeah, Erzberg, prologue on Iron Giant. As the bike had to start on Erzberg Rodeo, it was clear that the bike needed to be more enduro-focused. Something that could handle high speeds on gravel. And trust me, it wasn't just about slapping long-traveled suspension and put it on knobby tires.
Before any of this happened, this bike was something completely different. The KTM 1290 Superduke R is one of the most aggressive naked bikes ever built. Powered by a massive 1,301 cubic centimeter V-twin, producing around 180 horsepower, it was designed for one thing: dominating asphalt.
So this bike is meant to do just one more thing. Straighten up and accelerate! The bike is absolutely mental. There's really no problem to go 160 on it, as the frame was cut and there was changed the angle of the front forks. It's so stable that it doesn't even need a steering stabilizer. Everything what wasn't needed is just gone. You can say that it holds together with some 3D printed stuff and zip ties, but it fucking works. As this bike is meant to go only straight and fast, we were thinking that the great idea would be to try quarter mile on it, on gravel. So let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I wish I have my heartbeat monitor because, well, I'm fucking close to heart attack. It's kind of thing that you do just once in your life and then never do it again. Because what a stupid idea it was. I've seen 182 kilometers per hour, which is a lot, I guess, on knobby tires with muses. The build started by cutting off the steering neck and giving it more of an enduro angle. The single-sided swing arm, they swapped it out for one from Adventure model. Then came the suspension and wheels we talked about earlier. The ergonomics of the bike was completely revoked. It has custom-made fuel tank which is lower. It has different food packs, different seat and everything to be more enduro focused. And the ECU got remapped to match the custom exhaust. There was even some work done on cylinder heads. And the result? The bike that weighs just 180 kilos. It has 180 horsepower, which is absolutely mental. Only tire which can last more than few kilometers is the one they used on sidecar cross bikes.
What you end up with is something that almost shouldn't exist. A machine with the power of a superbike and the suspension of an off-road racer. Too wild for the road. Too powerful for traditional enduro. But perfect for one thing: climbing the Iron Giant as fast as possible.
Well, this bike isn't supposed to be best on motocross tracks or on tight single tracks. Nope. Even its owner says it's absolute nonsense. It was built with one and only purpose: to win going straight and fast world championship. Well, this bike was in plenty of magazines and it's pretty well known in Czech Republic. I'm pretty glad that Jiří brought me this bike, that I had opportunity to really test it. Yeah, I don't want to ever ride it again. It's absolutely mental. And I'm gonna start it for the one last time to put it in a van and never ever again. But yeah, it was hell of a joyride. When you first walk up to this bike and sit on it, you feel like back in a driving school, not really knowing what to expect. And then it hits you, a complete storm of every possible emotion. I wrote Erzberg Prologue in 2025 myself. An idea of taking on something like this beast is how to even put into words. It's a mix of excitement, fear, respect, and pure adrenaline. Riding a bike like this is once-in-a-lifetime experience you will never forget, but after doing 180 on gravel, I never ever wanna touch this bike again.